Imagine a world where quantitative easing, or QE, slips under the radar, conducted not by the Federal Reserve, but by the banks themselves. What might this future look like? This isn't some dystopian fantasy. It's a very real possibility that economists and financial experts call stealth QE. This concept could fundamentally change the future of monetary policy and the global economy. But before we delve into the implications, it's crucial to understand what stealth QE actually is. Picture the current system where banks have a limit on the amount of US Treasuries they can purchase due to balance sheet constraints. Now consider a shift in the supplementary leverage ratio rule for banks. This change would allow banks to purchase an unlimited amount of US Treasuries and effectively bypass balance sheet restrictions. But what does this mean for the banks and the economy? Well, it's a bit like a game of hot potato. If a treasury loses value, banks can temporarily offload them through facilities like the discount window, mitigating their risk. This system essentially involves banks loaning money directly to the government by buying treasuries. It injects money into the system and expands the money supply, which in turn fuels inflation. But here's the twist. This entire process avoids showing up on the Fed's balance sheet, allowing them to maintain the facade of fighting inflation. It's a bit like a magic trick, where the real action happens behind the scenes, hidden from the audience's view. Now, let's turn our attention to the government. It's currently facing a potential funding and liquidity crisis as it struggles to attract lenders for long-term debt auctions and drains cash from the financial system through short-term borrowing. The proposed rule change is like a double-edged sword. It would bail out both the financial system from a liquidity crisis and the government from a debt funding crisis. However, this approach could enable more prolonged inflation. It's like a pressure cooker slowly building up steam, and the consequences could be significant. To summarize, stealth QE proposes a potential approach that allows continued money printing and debt financing while obscuring it from the Fed's balance sheet. It's a game of hide and seek with potentially massive implications for the economy. This concept shakes up what we know about monetary policy and throws a wild card into the mix. As we navigate these uncharted waters, it's more important than ever to stay informed and ready for whatever the future holds. Because in the world of economics, the only constant is change.